Why all world maps are wrong. The world map is a representation of the Earth's surface that we often use to understand global geography, identify countries and continents, and measure distances. However, despite the widespread use of maps, they are not entirely accurate or even correct. In fact, all world maps are inherently flawed in some way, which raises the question, why are all world maps wrong? The simple answer is that the Earth is a sphere, and it is impossible to accurately depict the curved surface of a sphere onto a flat plane. Cartographers have been grappling with this challenge for centuries, trying to create maps that are both accurate and aesthetically pleasing. However, no matter how much they try, they cannot entirely capture the true proportions, shapes, and distances of the continents, oceans, and countries. One of the earliest world maps, created by the Greek mathematician and geographer Ptolemy in the 2nd century, was based on the assumption that the Earth was flat. While this map was a significant advancement for its time, it was far from accurate. Later, in the 16th century, the Flemish cartographer Gerardus Mercator developed a map that solved one of the problems with Ptolemy's map, which was the distortion of distances in different latitudes. However, the Mercator projection introduced a new problem: significant distortions in the size and shape of land masses. The Mercator projection became the most widely used map in history because it was practical for navigation and accurately represented lines of longitude and latitude. However, it was not an accurate depiction of the world's geography. For example, the Mercator projection greatly exaggerates the size of Greenland, making it look larger than the entire continent of Africa. Even though Africa is 14 times larger than Greenland in reality. Similarly, South America appears smaller than Europe, while in reality, it is almost twice as large. The Mercator projection's flaws were highlighted in the 1970s, with the rise of social justice movements and the recognition of the Eurocentric biases in the map. Many activists and scholars argued that the Mercator projection, with its emphasis on Europe and North America, perpetuated a distorted view of the world that reinforced colonialism and imperialism. As a result, many alternative projections were developed that attempted to correct the Mercator projection's distortions. One such alternative projection is the Gall-Peters projection, developed in the 19th century by the German cartographer James Gall and popularized in the 1970s by the historian Arno Peters. This projection sought to correct the Mercator projection's distortions by accurately representing the relative sizes of the continents. However, the Gall-Peters projection was criticized for its aesthetic qualities, which many people found unattractive. Another alternative projection is the Robinson projection, developed in 1963 by the American cartographer Arthur Robinson. This projection sought to balance the aesthetic appeal of the map with accurate depictions of land masses and distances. The Robinson projection achieved this by creating a compromise between the distortions present in other projections, resulting in a more visually appealing and accurate representation of the world. Despite these alternative projections, all world maps are still wrong in some way. They are all imperfect representations of a complex and dynamic planet. While they can be useful for navigation and understanding global geography, they should be viewed with a critical eye and an awareness of their limitations. Additionally, modern technology, such as satellite imagery and digital mapping tools, offers more accurate and precise representations of the world than traditional maps. However, these tools are not perfect either and still rely on mathematical projections to represent the Earth's surface. In conclusion, all world maps are wrong because it is impossible to accurately depict the spherical Earth onto a flat plane. While cartographers have developed various projections that attempt to correct the distortions, they all involve trade-offs and sacrifices. Therefore, the choice of which map projection to use often depends on the purpose of the map and the intended audience. Moreover, maps are not neutral or objective representations of reality. They are influenced by the cartographer's cultural, political, and social perspectives. Therefore, it is essential to recognize the biases and power dynamics inherent in maps, and how they shape our understanding of the world. In recent years, there has been a growing interest in developing alternative ways of representing the world that challenge the dominance of traditional map projections. For example, Indigenous communities in Australia and Canada have created maps that reflect their cultural knowledge and values, including their connection to the land and the importance of oral traditions. Similarly, critical cartographers and geographers have developed maps that highlight social and environmental justice issues, such as inequality, pollution, and climate change. In conclusion, all world maps are wrong because they are flawed representations of the complex and dynamic planet we live in. However, maps can still be useful tools for navigating the world, understanding global geography, and communicating complex ideas. It is crucial to approach maps with a critical eye, recognize their limitations and biases, and explore alternative ways of representing the world.